And we are live. Welcome. Today is Hump Day, Wednesday, November 7th. And this is episode 281 of the Gentleman of Crypto. And I am Bitcoin Zay, here to bring you some good news for today. A lot of good stuff coming on. So got a lot of people coming in. Shout out to everybody on Facebook or YouTube. Bitcoin Vegan, what's up, Justin? Tesla, what's going on? Madam Crypto, New Legacy, what's going on, everybody? Good to see you coming on in. Got a lot of good stuff today. As you know, yesterday was election day. A lot of people got out, got the vote out. Hope you got the result you were looking for. Some people did, some people didn't. Some votes still being counted. So, like we said, we'll see the results later. So, good to see, a lot of people, during midterms doing what they feel like is good for the country, and no problem for me there. So, our top story of the day, let's go ahead and jump into it. For those of you who may have been following, the international news, ex-JP Morgan trader pleads guilty to manipulating U.S. metals markets for years. And everyone in crypto said, we told you so. Because we've honestly, on our show, we've said this a million times. We've had Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, as the dino of the day. We've seen this coming a mile. Everybody who ever has been in trading longer than a year or so has seen that markets are manipulated. They use things such as spoofing, stacking order books, things of that nature in order to manipulate markets and get their way, get the prices they want. Shout out to everybody on Facebook. How you doing? So let's get into it. John Edmonds, 36, pleaded guilty to 1 count of commodities fraud and 1 count each of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, price manipulation, and spoofing. According to a Tuesday release from the U.S. Department of Justice, Edmonds spent 13 years at New York-based JP Morgan until leaving last year, according to his LinkedIn account. So he's been there over a decade. He's seen the inner workings of JP Morgan, and he's definitely, not the only person. This is one person that had to take a fall. In my opinion, if you've, been in the corporate world, if there's something big happening at the company, they usually find one person to blame or a couple people to blame, and they get them out of there. But people at the top not going anywhere. So as part of his plea, Edmonds said that from 2009 to 2015, he conspired with other JP Morgan traders to manipulate the prices of gold, silver, platinum, and palladium futures contracts on the CME group. So if you know about trading futures, and after the 2009 crash of our economy, JP Morgan basically took it upon themselves to say, hey, everybody who doesn't believe in our economy is probably going to put more money in gold and silver and commodities to be safe. We need to manipulate this price, because if it gets out of hand, that'll take away our power, and which they don't really have any. However, they do have a banking industry where they'll look favorable upon for fiat currency. So we basically here in the crypto world are like, well, we've known this for years. We're just trying to figure out, when is somebody going to get punished for it? That's our biggest thing. What is the punishment? It says for years, John Edmonds engaged in a sophisticated scheme to manipulate the market for precious metals futures contracts for his own gain by placing orders that were never intended to be executed. That is what spoofing is. If you're working in the markets, you can put a big sell order at a certain point, meaning that you wanted to sell futures in the future at a certain point, or you can put a buy order. But if you don't intend on actually executing that order, you can actually pull it from the order book, so that people who do actually trade, they'll look at the order book and say, hey, this has strong support or this has heavy resistance. And then when you pull that order, boom, the market fluctuates high or fluctuates low. So that's basically what they did. And you have to have a lot of money to do it. So spoofing is not easy. I mean, you at home, retail investor, with your little $200, you can't spoof the market, but 200 million can get it done, and 200 billion even more. So his sentencing is scheduled for December 19th. He's actually facing up to 30 years in prison, but is likely to receive less time than that. I wonder how. He's just so likely to get it. They already put it in the article. The guilty plea was entered under seal October 9th and unsealed on Tuesday. So this has been going on for a month, and nobody has really came out and said anything until now. So New York-based JP Morgan declined to comment. I'm sure you did, through a spokesman. However, it's too late. Damage has been done. He's already stated that he learned how to do this from his higher ups. And in my opinion, this is not surprising. I mean, everybody here, let's go into some of these comments, because I know some people are definitely not surprised. Dry Dessert, what's going on? Hi there. Yeah, definitely make sure you click that like button. Let's see. Yeah, Dry Dessert. Big Square made a video about the JP Morgan case. You have to watch that. Very emotional. I was expecting him to burst into tears anytime, as it was finally proven that what he's been writing about is true. Absolutely. I've read Big's weird stuff before. I've read James Rickards stuff before. It's a lot of people out there who have known the markets are being manipulated for so long. This is why people are turning towards crypto. This is why we do what we do, why other people do what they do, because we understand going forward that in a market that depends on your investment going forward, being manipulated by people with a lot of money just can't happen. So in my opinion, this is a story for now, but December 19th, if they don't really come up with anything to actually put him in jail or, something beyond a fine, fines are done. They give out fines. They make more than that in a week. I want to see somebody go to jail for an extensive period of time, as well as an investigation to his higher ups, because if they taught him this information, he's got to go. Let's see. What's up, Malik Howard? What's up, John Siebert? Tone Bay said that the direction of the manipulation was not clear. I don't know what to think. Honestly, the manipulation obviously was suppressing the price. You don't want the prices of commodities to be a safe haven for people, because if that's the case, people will stop putting their money in savings accounts in their bank, and then they'll place them in the commodities. People will start buying physical gold, physical silver, physical platinum. And when they do that, that is when you'll start to see banks have to either go desperation mode and keep people's money where they can't take it out, or they'll have to become a competitor because, people have figured it out. But people are starting to wake up. Crypto is definitely one of the biggest aspects that can combat against this fraud. Let's see. John Siebert. Yep. Thank you. Commodities are against paper. Yeah, and they did the same thing with Bitcoin. So basically, if you have a hard asset that you can actually use for yourself and hold, all they do is put paper in front of it that says, "Oh, you own this asset," which is what futures essentially are. It enables big money people to get into the market, but it also provides an environment where you can have mass manipulation. I'm sure JP Morgan isn't the only one doing it, but just the one that got caught now. I mean, it's hundreds of manipulation cases. So for that, JP Morgan, you are our dino of the day. And our dinos, we've had plenty of them, but JP Morgan takes the cake. Good gracious. So let's go ahead and give him that loud roar. Keep it going. I had to pull out the T-Rex on you. Because this is just come on, man. It's getting out of hand. And honestly, new legacy banks are no good. However, which exchange for crypto is safe? This is what I'll say about exchanges. First thing you have to do is decide whether you want centralized or decentralized. If you want centralized, the best one I've used so far is Uphold. Of course, you have Coinbase, you have Gemini, you have a few other ones out there. I don't really use them, but the local Bitcoins. You have Hold. There's a lot out there. For those of you in the comments, y'all can probably answer them as I go along. Also, for decentralized exchanges, if you want to go straight decentralized, there's a lot out there as well. So let's see. People need to get up on these new crypto credit cards. Help us make it go mainstream. Yep, that can work. I just don't want us to get back in the same system we were before. However, as a bridge to a new economy, I can definitely see it working better than the current system we have, because credit is just inflated based on whatever. They just vote on it and go, and you have no say in the matter. You really can't say anything against it. So that is not positive, but there is some positive news. Yesterday we had our election, as you know, and there were two pro-crypto candidates actually won and became governors of the U.S. states of California, where we're at, and Colorado in this country's midterm gubernatorial elections. In the California race, Democratic contender Gavin Newsom, who you may know of, he's actually come out and supported that he likes crypto and that he may allow crypto to flourish. Seals 59% of the electorate support. Not surprising here in California, very blue state. Newsom brought crypto into the party political scene as early as 2014, when he became one of the first high-profile politicians to accept campaign donations in Bitcoin. So if you have a politician out there you want to vote for and you are in the crypto world, the next midterm election, the next general national election that we have, one of the biggest things you should look for on their list of things, crypto. What is your plan going forward with crypto? If there's nothing there, I will probably start ignoring them going into the future, because finances runs everything. All this other stuff is mostly fluff just to get you to vote. They're not most of the stuff they tell you they're not going to do anyway. But if you have the finances, you will be just fine, because voting is, one thing. However, finances are another. Asian community has the biggest or the best financial group in the country, lowest voter turnout. So whenever you start looking at other candidates next time, look at their financial platform. Also, are they doing anything with crypto? these two candidates definitely are. First being Gavin Newsom, the second being Jared Polis, who is sort of well known in the crypto community. He in Colorado sealed 51.6% of the vote, and he actually accepted donations via BitPay. And this donation page accepted Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. So he's one of those people that he's in the crypto world. He doesn't have to be Bitcoin, which is fine. Polis further indicated his intent to establish regulatory sandboxes in order to encourage blockchain firms to flock to the state. So he sees the bigger picture. He definitely sees that if governments can save taxpayers money and create value by bringing these companies, why not? Why would you fight against something that can actually help you, unless you are so deep in the legacy banking system that you can't get out, and they're basically telling you what to say, which is what we see from people like the JP Morgans of the world and Goldman Sachs. So that's very good to see here. I wonder if there are other politicians in other people's states who are watching. They may be pro crypto, but they don't actually come out and say it. We'll see. But there are a bunch that are come out, Ron Paul, Rand Paul, a lot of people. So let's see. Shout out to Madam Crypto. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Nice shirt. Yeah. Shout out to Crypto Cake TV. We actually met them in Vegas for the free merch. I forgot to show it when I did the World CryptoCon. So much stuff was given for free. But yeah, shout out to Crypto Cake TV. They'll be airing their first show soon featuring Crypto Wendy O. We're definitely trying to get on that channel, 24-hour news station with different channels. We'll definitely try and get up on that. So let's see what we have here. Next, Overstock CEO. He actually stated that modern financial system is a Ponzi scheme. Collapse will bring global crypto adoption. In an article by Nuno Teodoro, he actually states that Patrick Byrne has said that the big Keynesian magic money tree Ponzi scheme when he describes the modern financial system. So for those of you who don't know the modern financial system, it is a top-down approach. It doesn't matter what anybody tells you. It is not fair. The money's given to banks. The banks decide who they loan it to. Those loans and those rates are decided by politicians. For us, we have no say in the matter. So the money that comes out, if it gets inflated, gas prices go through the roof. Gas is at $5 out here. If prices for other goods go through the roof, we don't really have a say. So we just kind of have to deal with it. However, Patrick Byrne, who had from Overstock actually started accepting crypto back in 2014, said people turn to it when they collapse, like Venezuela or Cyprus or Syria, something like that. When people start getting into it is when their own financial systems collapse. And I can definitely see the financial system globally having a black swan event or a war-driven event where people start to exit the current fiat market we have. When asked about the role of governments in regulating cryptocurrencies, Patrick admitted to being a national security libertarian. He believes that KYC and anti-money laundering requirements are important tools to keep crypto activity from thriving on the crypto sphere. And as revolutionary as he is, he says that KYC shouldn't be scoffed at. He is a CEO, so you have to do that because your company can get shut down. However, like I said, it's a game of whack-a-mole. So I don't really have any fears about KYC because as soon as one has to do KYC, somebody will come out and have some sort of lax standards, and then they'll have to get KYC. So this is something that's been going on for a while. Patrick believes that it's possible to take blockchain to the point where it becomes completely anonymous. I can't wait for that day. Maybe when the Lightning Network comes around, some good privacy coins like Cryptic Coin. Those things, when they start being more established, more evolved, definitely more anonymity in the space. And he actually has, open view on the industry. Says now whether Bitcoin is the one, whether Bitcoin is solving speed problems or another cryptocurrency, only time will tell. Absolutely. Only been 10 years. We're still early, people, as we always say. And it's definitely a good time to be in the market, especially when you have people like Patrick Byrne who supports what you do. And it's easy to block out the noise from regular retail investors and mom and pop people and people who have never even invested in their life when they ask you about crypto, because none of them are Overstock CEO. None of them have the amount of money put up like Winklevoss twins. So if I was you, I would probably listen more to them simply because they've been in it long enough to where their word is bond. They didn't just show up, last year like some people, but they've been around, 3, 4, 5 years. They've seen the ups, seen the downs. So definitely good people to listen to there. So shout out to everybody that's joining in on Facebook. Asia, how you doing? JJ Zale, thank you for joining in. And last but not least, our last story of the day, trading platform eToro unveils a blockchain solution to tackle economic disparity. Trading platform eToro has recently unveiled a social project entitled Good Dollar to tackle global wealth inequality, according to a press release obtained by Cointelegraph. Good Dollar has been presented at Web Summit this week in Lisbon, Portugal. According to the release, eToro has raised $1 million of its own funds to the project and is seeking more partners to join the initiative. The project's main goal is to provide economic tools for people who are unbanked or disenfranchised, creating non-speculative cryptocurrency that aims to find ways to reduce wealth inequality on a global scale. So let me tell you two things. First one, the first thing when I see something like this is I never get emotional, because when you see stories like this, people will look, oh, great for eToro. They're giving the unbanked and the disenfranchised a chance. And usually what I see is them getting a chance to move in on areas that are already disenfranchised and them becoming customers. That's what they're trying to do. These companies don't care that much about, unbanked, and they don't really care that much about it. And being philanthropic, they're not that big on it. However, one of the things I saw with the Good Dollar, once I've started to look into it, is if they want it to be non-speculative, does that mean it's a stable coin? Do they actually want to have an in-house token that they'll use liquidity to do that? Who knows? I'm not sure. However, when you say non-speculative cryptocurrency, that's almost impossible unless you have the stable coin. So who knows? I'm still trying to figure out what they're trying to do here. However, they said that, as recently was reported, United Nations Department dedicated to women's rights uses decentralized technologies to pay remunerations to refugees working in camps in Jordan. So like I've always said, you can give a little bit of money, make it seem like you're the good guys. And then when the good guys, show up, everybody believes them. And then they have a bunch of customers for the future. So I will just watch closely. I'm very skeptical. I'm sort of the I play devil's advocate on a lot of things simply because I'm right most of the time. And unfortunately, I've only been alive, 29 years, but I've seen enough corruption in this society to know that face value is not what it seems. So even though eToro unveiled this, we'll have to wait and see if it actually does what they say it will. And they'll have to explain more how they're going to have a non-speculative cryptocurrency, simply because money starts out as speculative and goes forward into different areas: store value, unit of account, and then on to medium of exchange. So we'll see how it goes. But shout out to eToro for putting up $1 million to do it. And it remains to be seen. Shout out to Harold George. Thank you for the donation. My man, definitely going to check out and make sure elected candidates have a crypto agenda. Absolutely. I would make sure every candidate, and if they don't, write them a letter, send them an email. If you meet them in person, just yell the word Bitcoin out. Just be like, what are you doing about Bitcoin? And then if they just kind of look like, what is Bitcoin? She'll already be like, okay, first of all, they either working, they have somebody behind them who's telling them don't say anything, or they're really just not in the know. So most of these people are smart people. So I would go with the first option. They got somebody telling them not to say anything. John Siebert, let's see. Check out Castle Lightning Network. I was actually just looking at Castle Lightning Network. Somebody just bought one. One of my friends just bought one. Actually looking at the specs on it yesterday. So that'll definitely be something that may be good for a review or a tutorial. Thank you for that. Jason M. Wonder what would happen to Venezuela if the USA just gave a couple millions of crypto. Yeah, I mean, we have them sanctioned, so it will be interesting to see, but they're 1,000,000% or over 1,000,000% negative as far as their inflation rate, which is, I don't know how many millions we'll have to give them to recover. Plus, if you give them the money, the president would just take it and keep it for itself. Maduro, I don't think he would actually divvy it up amongst the people. So honestly, I think that's kind of a dead end right there, in my opinion. So if we don't have any more people commenting, people on Facebook, thank you for joining. Before we go, our question of the day, very simple to receive the cryptic coin. Make sure you put your public address. Our question of the day is, what should be JP Morgan's punishment? You can be creative, you can be funny, you could use, stuff like tar and feather. King loves the tar and feather. Me, I'll go, probably Wu-Tang style, where it's, all the stuff when the Wu-Tang, the skit they had where it's like they'll stick the knives under your fingernails and stuff like that. I'll probably go with that skit for some of these JP Morgans, because they've gotten so many people displaced out of their homes, so many people kicked out from their way of life. So what do you think JP Morgan's punishment should be? And make sure you put that cryptic coin address. Thank you all for watching. Once again, this is the Gentleman of Crypto, and I am Bitcoin Zay. I will see you all tomorrow. Cheers.